So, I wanted to do a video that kind of wrapped up what I did on this rocket stove, gasifying rocket stove, I guess I would call it. Um, some trial and error of what I went through to make it work the way I wanted it to. Um, I had just the barrel set up without a grate on the bottom for the ashes to fall through, which made it hard to keep it burning nice, and you really lost a lot of your wood. So I wanted some vents on the bottom, or grates, I should say, um, to let the ashes fall through, and then also to get air into the system. So that's why I put this extra box on the bottom here, which is just basically an ash drop and air supply for the stove. So right now I got it set up. I'm basically running the system wide open. I got a couple different dampers on the system. The top door is sealed, and then the bottom one has a vent slot on the bottom that could be shut down if you want to slow it down even more. Pretty much seems that you got to have some air coming in the system to run it, so you're going to need those open basically. But I don't have a whole lot of wood going right now, but it's definitely putting off a lot of heat. And it's burning pretty slowly, which is a good thing because you want to conserve as much fuel as you can. So, just throw a heat probe on there to kind of give you an idea how hot this thing is. So the way this kind of works here is I got a basically a smaller barrel inside the 55 gallon drum. It was actually a tank off like an old style water heater, but I know that kind of stuff's probably not too available to most people, but I think it could be built the same way with a 30 gallon drum inside the barrel. So it's kind of based on the idea of the soup can rocket stove, the little mini one that you can make out of the soup cans with the holes on the inside and the outside. So the one tank on the inside, yeah, you probably not going to be able to see it too well in here. Has holes all along the bottom, and then underneath there it sits up on some little legs, so it's about maybe 2 to 3 inches off the bottom of the 55 gallon barrel, and then underneath that is open, and then I cut slots in the barrel to let air inside. So it kind of works on the same concept where you're getting fresh air in on the outer can, and then it's mixing with the smoke and going between the two layers. So to get that action to happen better, I made a big damper on this side here that I can flip down, and then that'll force the fire between the two barrels and slow the fire, slow your material consumption down, and well, essentially slow the fire down. But it's throwing off plenty of heat here. I mean, it's hard to even stand close to it. So, and then, so the other thing I did, was I have the exhaust so I can just pipe it directly out of the building to get the fire started and get it nice and hot, because it's really hard to get it to travel through all the pipe I have going under the dirt here unless you got a good hot fire. You need to get some temperature in that flue, and that's just really tough to do without having a bypass almost. So it comes down off the back of the stove and then drops down to this T area, and then one pipe goes directly out the chimney here, and then the other one goes down through this dirt mass, which goes all the way over to this side, and then comes back and around and heats all that dirt up. I got it up on some blocks. I thought eventually, once I got it all set up, that I would blow air or a blower through there to get some air to come through there to get some of that heat out of there. But it's not a ton of heat when you get it going. It is and it isn't. It's heating all that dirt up, but you're maybe getting a few hundred degrees out of that. But as you start blowing a fan past that, it cools down pretty quick. But I don't regret putting it in there. It's a good block for this side of the wall to keep the cold out. So even if you're getting it up to 60 or 70 degrees and it's below zero outside, you're ahead of the game a little bit by having that in there, and that's going to take quite a bit to get that to cool down. And it's a little bit easier to keep the shop warm because you got something to start with. You got some heat in there. But it's nice to have this bypass on here. On this side, where I can shut this back and then start bringing it through the dirt. So this pipe's only at about 100 degrees coming out of the dirt right now. But I just turned that valve a second ago, so looks like it's already climbing slowly. But step outside once and show you the way the chimney's burning. Or not burning, but smoking. Hopefully it's not burning. So there's the chimney, and there's virtually hardly any smoke there. So we know we're running pretty lean, so that's a good thing. We're burning up most of that smoke. By the way the chimney looks there, so really getting a lot of heat off a little bit of wood. And the other thing I got, which I don't have completely hooked up yet, is the exhaust actually comes out on the front of the stove here, goes up that pipe, and then there's another thicker walled pipe that runs through this barrel that I'm going to be able to fill up with water and then pump into a radiator, which I got in a different section of the shop here, and hopefully get some heat off there. But I haven't had time to hook that up, so I'll be able to get the heat off the barrel. It's gonna go up. Let's see if we can get a pointer going here. Oh. Comes out this, goes up through here, through this water barrel, and then down. and then out this way to get it started, and up and out. And then I can damper it back and then push it down through this pipe, which goes through the dirt and all the way through over this side and back around, and then comes out down here and then up and out. So I got quite a few lengths of pipe inside underneath the dirt here, so that's a pretty big area I can heat up. So seems to be working pretty well now. But I think I like the way the rocket stoves I saw on the internet were, but I just didn't like the fact that they were using an 8-inch tube to load your material into. It makes it really tough to get enough of the right size material to make it burn nice. So that's why I wanted to upgrade to a bigger size here. And then I actually ended up making it a bit longer, just for the fact that it's just less processing of the wood and all that. You can fit a lot longer piece in there, and you don't have to cut it down. And there's a nice, decent sized door on the front, so you could fit a nice sized log in there. The bottom of this was just a old steel cabinet I found that was pretty close to fitting on there, so I just kind of spliced the two together, and that's really thin sheet metal, which is fine because it's really there's not a lot of heat going on that. It's burning the paint on the edges a little bit here, but I'm not too worried. That'll be plenty strong to catch ashes and let air come in here. So the front door is off another stove, and this is a completely sealed door with a rope gasket on it, which I think is something you're going to want on that top barrel, or something that seals real good, because otherwise once you damper it back and try to push it through the dirt, you're going to have problems with the smoke coming out the front door there. And then the other benefit of having a 2-door system on there is when I load this, then I can run with the bottom door wide open, which if you want to run full blast with this thing, you're going to need that much air coming in there. Otherwise the fire is just going to be kind of lazy, and it doesn't burn well. You need that air coming in until you get it nice and hot, and then you can damper back and let it heat that way and conserve on your wood. But if it's really cold, it's nice to be able to run that wide open. And with a single door system, you're really not going to be able to do that without getting a whole bunch of smoke in your building. So this works quite a bit better with the 2 doors on here. So when I load it, I'll shut that bottom door completely, and then open this damper up. It's burning real hot now, so I can get away with opening the door without doing this, but it's nice to open those up and then open this door kind of slowly so it starts getting some draft through there, and then open it up, and that's gonna avoid getting a ton of smoke in your shop. You're gonna get some yet, but so that's about it. I shouldn't say that's about it. There's a ton more little things that kind of went into it to get it to go, but that's kind of the basics of what I did and how it works. So hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. So I want to do a little add-on to the end of the video here. I showed you before when I came in that the temperature was rising, or what I thought was rising, which it was, but on the thermometer it showed about the same temperature. those pellets I put in there pretty much burned up most of the way. It's been about an hour since I was just on with the video here, but it's still throwing off a substantial amount of heat. It just turned this candle around a minute or a couple minutes or so ago, but that whole side is liquefied yet. And then I moved the thermometer over because it was so hot it was off the thing here, but we're at about 94 degrees over here, and that's quite a ways away from the stove. And then here's this one. It's reading about a little better than 80 degrees over here. And then over on this side, we're at about 59 degrees. A little better then. And this is a pretty big area I'm trying to heat up here. I should kick in my other fan up there to get some of that heat down. And then I also got this tube just temporarily hooked up that I got a blower that I can blow it into the other side there, but I don't have that going right now. Which is fine because it's plenty warm in here. But yeah, hopefully that gives you some ideas on what kind of heat this thing can throw off. I'll show you. There's really not too much going on in here right now. It's probably, don't think I'm gonna put much in there anymore. It's plenty warm in here, so save on wood, and hopefully it gives you some ideas on what you can do to make a heater for yourself that'll work. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, subscribe and definitely share it with anybody you think would be interested. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon.